Graham Plattner has officially dropped out of the Senate race in Maine. But today, Plattner announced he's running for mayor of Epstein Island. There's a new viral video out of Colombia of a car with 2 stolen cows in the backseat. Or, as RFK Jr. calls it, Grubhub. A 93-year-old Iowa man might soon become a Guinness World Record holder for being the world's oldest truck driver. He was so excited when he got the news, he accelerated to 21 miles an hour. Zoran Mamdani said that Egypt was robbed in their World Cup match versus Argentina. He said if he was in charge, he would distribute all goals equally. Citing security concerns, President Trump switched from the new Air Force One back to the original Air Force One. It's the first time Trump has ever traded in something new for something old. On Tuesday, a 13-year-old boy in Texas was struck by lightning inside his bedroom while playing video games. He's not injured, but can now charge his phone with his toe. An Indiana man was arrested for arson after he cut off his penis, poured gasoline on it, and then set it on fire in his family's garage. Which raises the question, who can afford to waste gasoline like that?
Good one.
And finally, a New York City artist is selling street trash found near Taylor Swift's wedding at Madison Square Garden.
I am.
But hey, if you want to buy garbage, you can also buy this. So, there's an interesting provision in the big, beautiful bill that just took effect July 1st, and it has some universities absolutely panicking, like they just saw a white guy with dreadlocks in the quad. Why? Because it forces colleges to have some skin in the student loan game. Here's how it works. For every degree program, the government will look at what graduates are earning 4 years after finishing school. Then they compare that to what an average high school grad is earning in that state. If the college grads are earning less, the program fails the test and is subject to losing its eligibility for federal student loans. Now, to fund a women's studies degree, you'll need to slip in a Walmart parking lot. Cha-ching. Now, 1 bad year doesn't trigger penalties. You gotta fail 2 out of 3. Or, as recent college grads call it, about half the time. Only about 2 to 6% of programs are expected to lose eligibility. It's about 800 programs, which graduate about 40,000 kids a year. Those were the ones that were flagged as potentially failing the policy change. So, what degree programs could be at risk? Well, recent data suggests things like foreign language, social sciences, and performing arts are the worst for early career earnings. And in the case of performing arts, also the worst for mid and late career earnings.
Preach.
Now, supporters of this new rule say it's about time, because before this, colleges got paid whether the product worked or not, which was a concept first pioneered by the cast of Fox and Friends. The student gets the debt, the taxpayer gets the bill. And the only people who never had any risk were the colleges themselves. On the other hand, critics say the government shouldn't be involved in choosing which degrees are worth it, and that some degrees are worth more than just the money they make. Others say the government shouldn't be in the student loan business at all. It artificially inflates the amount of money available, which has caused colleges to become bloated with faculty and facilities. But regardless of where you come down, this could finally get students and parents to ask a question they should have been asking all along. Is this degree actually going to pay for itself? Or will you need to become one of Greg's many pool boys that signs an NDA in exchange for his repaying your loans?
I did that for 2 summers.
Historically, it hasn't been popular to ask if paying for higher education is worth it. When I turned down Columbia Journalism School in favor of working in restaurants and doing internships to learn those skills for free, a lot of people told me I was making a huge mistake. The same thing they said when I offered to babysit the Menendez brothers. But I did what this bill is now forcing colleges to do. I looked at the math. To go to Columbia, I'd have to take out $80,000 in loans. Do you have any idea how many cats I could get with that? Then I looked at the average starting salary for entry-level journalism jobs, and the math just didn't work. So I passed because I couldn't justify the price. It turned out to be one of the smartest decisions I ever made. And not just because I look so hot in a uniform. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But just about everybody at the time told me I was making the wrong choice. They said an Ivy League education is always worth it. But that's just not true. Bottom line, this bill isn't telling anybody what they can and can't study. It's asking colleges to stand behind what they're selling. If a school believes its degree is worth several $100,000, shouldn't be afraid to prove it. Let's welcome tonight's guest. Unlike the Buffalo Bills, she does have a ring. Co-host of the Party Lines podcast and Republican strategist, Erin McGuire. He pays for sex with Kohl's cash. Comedian Dave Landau. To impress the babes, he likes to flash a wad of food stamps. Comedian Chris Freed. And if he was a rapper, his name would be Lil Talent. Oh, I didn't write that. Comedian Sherrod Small.
It hurt. No, it hurt.
I didn't write that. I didn't write it. I would never say that about you. I don't say that about you. All right, Erin, I also did not write that Buffalo Bills thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Someday we'll get a ring.
Yeah, I won't probably know when you do.
You will, I'll tell you. Don't worry. I'll make sure everybody knows in the whole world that the Buffalo Bills win the Super Bowl.
So what do you think? What do you think of this new idea for how to handle the student loan issue?
I think this is one smart way to do it. Listen, I have a social sciences degree. I was a political science major in college, and 90% of what I do as a political consultant, I did not learn in college. Yes, knowing history, knowing American government history, knowing political history certainly makes me better at my job, but the stuff I know about running campaigns, running races, messaging, I learned by doing the work. I got way more out of internships and going on campaigns. And I can tell you, my first campaign job was in 2010, and I made $2,000 a month. I made absolutely no freaking money, but we beat an 18-year incumbent, and that job got me my next job, and my next job, and my next job, and now I make a living. Did I need my poli-sci degree for that? No. Was it helpful to say I graduated from the University of Connecticut? Yes, because then everybody's like, oh, we love your basketball program. I'm like, oh my God, I know, me too. Yeah. So it gives a nice conversation point. But I think your point's right. One, I think universities should be held accountable, because stop fleecing kids to give them a piece of paper to hang on a wall and put them in debt for the rest of their life when they can take alternative routes, go to different schools, or just go get a freaking job.
Yes, they can. Dave, did you go to college?
Well, I went to high school for 5 years. So, in many ways, it felt like it. I went to community college for 1 year, and I felt that most of the people who were just passed out on Vicodin wearing Looney Tunes pajamas maybe weren't. They didn't make me feel like a winner. It's odd to jump out of being a drug addict for 5 years in high school and then go, I'm already better than all of you in this program. But really, I'm not surprised by how any of this goes. When you look at it, like I started looking up the degrees, like indigenous basket weaving is an actual degree you can get. Like, how does that really prepare you for your future in OnlyFans? I mean, that's the only thing you're going to do with it. So, yeah, I don't know. I think they should be responsible for giving them an actual education, because right now they just go to dye their hair blue and get very mad at their parents.
First of all, the Venn diagram for people who wear Looney Tunes pajama pants and people who pass it on Vicodin is a circle.
Yeah.
It's a circle. And also, Sherrod, you can just, if you want to learn indigenous basket weaving, you can probably just go on YouTube And you can learn indigenous basket weaving. At this point, I feel like there are fewer and fewer things.
You can learn it the way I learned it, just on a dating app. I found me an indigenous girl with baskets. She was nice. I want to give a big shout out to Morgan State University. It's a college that I went to in Baltimore, Maryland. But I think schools cost too much in the first place.
Yeah.
They charging way too much for the information that we're getting from them. And I think they just pushing a lot of kids away from school. I think we need to find a way that we can make higher education free for everybody. And I think that's the way in. Because some people just can't afford to get in, and some people, get pushed out because they can't keep up with those bills. Everybody's not going to get some kind of stipend or financial aid. But I think we do need higher education in some of these fields. And I don't think we can always base it on how much you make right away when you start working. Because what about like states like Nevada? You're going to compare that to a high school dropout who's stripping, making $2,000 a night?
Unfortunately, though, the more the government's gotten involved, the more expensive this stuff has gotten. And there's just no way it's worth what it costs. For example, Chris Fried,
shut up.
He went to Harvard.
Hey!
Oh!
Big fancy pants.
Where's your Harvard tie?
She got the crowd against
Why
you
don't
in
you
the
boo the
block.
free health care over here?
I've known you for years. You've never even told me.
The only
you didn't know
person
he went
who's
to
never
Harvard?
mentioned.
Well, wait till we hear what I have to say on the topic here. It's because I am bitter on this entire thing because I have a good degree that also I was not able to earn money at all with entering comedy. So
What did you study at Harvard?
Indigenous basket weaving.
how to finish the credits enough to graduate and then never use it again. But no, it was psychology. And then I realized I should have just gone to a psychiatrist and had the government pay for my meds to then enter comedy and heal myself or whatever.
It's surprising that a lot of comedians actually went to Harvard, like Greg
Yeah.
Giraldo, a couple other guys.
Yeah, some like Conan end up pretty rich.
Yes.
I interned for him and then lived on a cot somewhere for 20 years.
You did say cot, right?
What? Yes.
Got to earn money.
I think it might be a fine idea there's a give and take. I think we can government fund some artistic people, but there has to be a risk at it where, let's say they go through the whole system and at the end of the college experience, they show us their art and the nation gets to vote if they suck or not. And if the nation does not think they should continue this, they should have to repay then. That's the risk, is that if you suck, then you owe money. So
You were
can't-
saying in the green room that they should be shot.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, there's that. Then we got to pay for bullets and stuff. It's the whole
That's true.
thing.
Thinking of cutting spending, I
But
like it.
that's a good way to go with the apps because that's what you do. All throughout America, you see people music and you go, nope, you're paying. You're paying. That's, on America's Next Top Lesbian Studier or whatever the hell competition type thing. I don't know.
Amazing.
You had me at lesbian.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.